Broken windows are not violence!
Hey, everybody. You're listening to the Rad Left podcast with me, James, and my co-host, Casey.
Hello.
So we were just talking and decided we should just hit the record button so you could hear us talk about our lives and whatnot. So, Casey, you were saying that you have to get up early for your job.
Yes, I do. I work at an upper scale grocery store. I will not name the name of it just in case one day I want to talk shit about it. I haven't decided yet. It could always, you know how it is. It could always change. So far, they're doing okay. It's like a billionaire's pet project, though. He comes in there with his red bucket hat. He looks like an unhoused person. Not that that's bad to look like that. I think it's kind of cool, but it freaks you out because you're just like, man, this guy. I guess he's worth like $1.1 billion. He sold like.
No shit.
Yeah, he's got a lot of the quiche, as the kids say. But I've never actually talked to him. I've just seen him come meandering in with his red bucket hat. He's an old dude, shuffles in, just wanders into the back. You're like, well, that's the owner. It's weird. Doesn't talk to many people. Yeah, but yeah, I like to drink. That's what we were talking about. How we enjoy alcohol.
Yeah,
it's not great. I don't love. Do you have a romantic almost a fucking Anthony Bourdain romantic relationship with alcohol?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mine comes from like Hunter S. Thompson, Burroughs, Kowski, all those fucking assholes who really romanticize getting fucked up. And as I've gotten older and I'm like drinking less and less, there's a part of my brain that's like, you pussy, you gave up on me. You know what I mean?
That'd be kind of a funny skit to make, like the writer make this fat, drunken version of you with a beard. You're like, oh, you pussy, James, you're giving up, huh? Like it's on your shoulder or something.
Yeah.
And it's like that future you if you kept drinking. Like, well, you can't handle it. Well, you can't. It's like I know.
You don't want to be this. Like fucking. Oh man, what was his name? That director who did oh my god, what's the most famous movie with Xanadu and
shit.
Well, I'm blanking on his name right now, but he did.
Yeah, I don't know the name of that guy either. Daniel De Laurentiis.
No.
I don't know who the fuck that is. I know that name.
I hate it when I start to tell a story and then I forget the all of the main plots. But anyway, man, listeners are screaming at me right now.
Tell us somewhere in the. We should do a live one again. You want to do a live one again one day?
Yeah, we should. I'd like to. I didn't have enough time to get things set up today, but I was thinking we should get back on Twitch or YouTube or one of them.
Yeah. Maybe
get some people talking to us.
Yeah, it's always kind of fun. Maybe interview a few of your buddies too. That one dude that lives out in the woods, Ethan Danger. I like him.
Get back in the danger zone.
The danger zone. Bring back the danger zone.
Orson Welles. It just came to me.
Oh, yeah.
Orson Welles.
Yeah.
So there's this video, you should look it up. It's really fucking funny where he's doing this wine commercial. It's like late in his career. He's doing this wine commercial and he is fucking wasted. It is so funny. He's like, and then you have the fanciest grapes from the vineyard and it's just like, holy shit, this is one of the most influential filmmakers of all time and he's just off his fucking nutter.
Yeah, there was no social, drinking was just it.
Yeah.
Drank, which some part of me kind of misses that culture and like I said, nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's probably whatever is in me that has that. Because I've always been able to, I've never, I haven't made an ass of myself drunk for quite some time. I used to, but now I've just got the wine drink. It's just it just puts me in the right mode. But yeah, the rest of your life when you're not drunk though, you're down a couple notches, I'm not my best self by any means. Tired, a little grumpier, dehydrated as fuck. Apparently, there's stuff you can take though. There's stuff you can take. I hear it on podcasts all the time. There's stuff you can take to hydrate. I wonder if that would, it puts all the vitamins back in your bodies. It's like they're coming up with brand new shit you can take to like really replenish yourself. I should probably get some of that.
Yeah, I've tried that before. Like, there's a company. I mean, I don't really want to say the name of it because I'm not trying to endorse anything. But
right,
there was this company that like had like this powder that was like literally for hangovers. You just like scoop a powder into your like drink or something. I honestly didn't really notice too much of a difference, but my hangovers are typically pretty aggressive. So.
And what do you drink usually?
I mean, it depends, but lately I've been on a Jameson kick, really liking the Jameson. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different kind of hangover when you do the more the liquor kind of stuff. That definitely has a, yeah. I haven't done liquor for a while. I had to quit that in New Orleans. I just, the hangovers got to be so brutal. Somehow I may have had a few rum and cokes since then, but that's about it. I always drink the same shitty ass fucking boxed wine. I've been drinking it for years. Probably have some arsenic poisoning because of it. I'm sure you're not supposed to drink as much as I drink of the same type of alcohol. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows, right? Anyways, let's get off the alcohol kick. What else you got going on?
Yeah, we got a show tonight.
Nice.
With my newest band, Coffin Makers.
Sweet.
Should be a good one. We're going to be over at Half Baked with some good folks. We're playing with Ope and Leechwife and Slow Violence are the local bands, and then the frontman from Slow Violence, he moved away a while ago, and he formed a new band out in Chicago called Cave Brain. So the 5 of us are going to team together to make a hectic time over at Half Baked. So that should be a good time.
That's awesome. I really like your scene you got, man. It's a really unique scene that actually is making interesting music, and that's entertaining to me. I'm glad you're part of that. Also, I noticed our theme song has changed. Is that correct? Has our theme song changed for the Red Left?
It's the same song, but it's with the current members of Hollow. It's the official version of. It's the same
I like
song,
it,
but yeah. And it
I
might
like
be
it a lot.
a different point in the song too, but it's the same. Yeah. Just thought maybe we could do a refresh.
What do you think about, like, I guess we're kind of talking about music and whatnot for a minute. So what, did you see that newest radio station's already changed its format back again?
Yeah, 93X or whatever.
Yeah. Do you know much about that guy that did that? Do you know him very well?
He used to work at Dirty's before I was a bartender there.
Yeah.
And he would come in and he was really quiet. I honestly, I thought, I got weird vibes from him, but eventually he warmed up, and I don't know. He just seems kind of like a weirdo. I don't have a good, I don't know. It just,
I don't know either. I don't know that well.
Necessarily mean that as like a, I don't know. I don't necessarily mean that in a certain way, but I don't know the guy. So let's just put it that way. Leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't really either. I have decided to form opinions anyways as an asshole though. But no, I know enough about some things about what he's done and through other people that I just feel like he definitely just did things in a really tactless way that probably is because I think the music he was playing was worlds better than what the other station was playing.
That's what I heard too. I mean, I never listened to CD 10 or CD whatever they ended up being.
Yeah.
Because I just got tired of the whole like Imagine Dragons thing. Like they
play Imagine Dragons too much. Now on their app they're playing a lot more good stuff.
Really?
And they did pretty good with the locals. But yeah, this guy.
I mean they pretty good. We'll be a little critical here.
Yeah.
They did it every once in a while. What is it like? Once a week they played locals on front stage.
Well, they had a thing called
Independent Playground.
There's Independent Playground, which is also good. Tom Butler's my whole thing. I love Tom Butler there.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
And Randy
I
Malloy.
don't want to disparage him by any means. No, he's a great guy.
And I was sad because I know him relatively well enough. I know him and his girlfriend enough to know, like, they got basically kicked out of their jobs, and he lost his life. And it was all a fuckaroo. Just to now have another oldies station, it's like that's what we got now. So because they're not playing anything independent anymore. But he and I feel bad about that, man.
The second I heard that he was playing like actually like good like post rock and post punk and all that stuff, like actually good interesting music, I was like, that's awesome, but that is not gonna last. Like apparently
he made a post on Instagram just talking about that, how he basically they came after him because of FCC shit or something. So, but he was because that's apparently what happened. His group they're called Delmar, that like runs everything, and they're fucking shitty, and they kicked him out. But it's after he was bragging like, I'm gonna take over the town, I'm gonna be the best, this is my destiny, and just dancing on the grave.
Is that
pretty gross.
That stuff that Ian guy said, or is this stuff that's propped up by the company? Because I was always like, I mean, I don't know the exact details, and I was like in the comment sections, like looking at everybody yelling back and forth, which was but like I was unaware of if it was like the Ian guy being shitty, or if he was just kind of like the face of it, and it was like the company being shitty. Or
Ian, it's so weird because I'm in a group called it's the 92.9 Save 92.9 group or something, and they're all talking about it, and I catch up on that. But just to be fair, just to give credit to 92.9, they did have a local gems where they would play local band at least every hour on the hour, at least maybe every couple hours. Yeah, they've been doing that for a while. But all
right, well,
but that might be a new thing.
I'm uninformed, and I retract my statement then.
But Imagine Dragons sucks, and they don't need to be playing that fucking shit. That sucks. I don't care who you owe money to. Come on, man. This is not what we need. That is disappointing. But what you're saying, it was actually Ian. You see, what happened is the station made a fucking announcement, basically like, yeah, we're fucking leaving, and then we got kicked out, and then he came running like it was within an hour. He's like, oh yeah, so sorry about that, but hey, I'm gonna be running things now. And everyone was like, whoa, dude, like let the fucking body stiffen up first or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you're coming in a little hot, and then
he just kept, whole like the better alternative. I'm like, man, that is
which he spelled wrong. He spelled that wrong, by the way. Better alternative, and it was so everyone was like, God, he was just so unprofessional, and like, which is fine. I'm not professional, but there's something just very, I don't know, just really weird. But then he would be everyone.
The way
everyone
they handled it was inappropriate.
It's just weird, yeah. And the way he responded to people, it was very much just like, you guys are gonna see. You give this 6 months, and you're gonna see that I was destined to do this, and just very. And I've just heard that about him. Just like you, I don't know him that well. I interviewed him one time on a talk show I did, and he was fine. But I know he runs some record shop, but
I don't know. He seems like one of those people. He's one of those people that I'm like, immediately I'm like, this guy doesn't like me. But then I remember that there are people who just are kind of quiet and kind of intense, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they have an opinion about you, just that they're kind of awkward. So I'm trying to give people more of a benefit of the doubt, but
that's good.
Often when I get weird vibes from people like this, they do something shitty. Like
I don't know. You find out you were right. I know that, and that happens too. Yeah. I'm not going to name. There's a couple bigger bands in Columbus I've been talking to, and one in particular, she was just telling me how. All she knows of him is him trashing their band constantly online. Like he was pretty much he was a big you know who I'm talking about, yeah. And she I've been talking to her. She loves that this is happening, but anyways, he trolls he fucking trolls people, I guess. And I just think he maybe just did it really gross. You know what I mean? It could have been done better, but whatever. Now people are saying that this whole time they were planning on yanking this after a month because they knew it wasn't going to work, and they really wanted this to be like an oldie station from the get-go, but they wanted to let everyone down gently because, like you said, there's no way that could, because it's just so weird how after a month they just ganked him out of there, after all the hype and the fucking setup. But, Radio Wars.
I wonder how
buddy.
fucked over he is right now. If like the company was just using him as a lightning rod,
Yeah.
absorb all the hatred from the community and then be like, all right, well, now it's an oldie station. Everybody's fine, right? Because the bad guy lost. Yay.
Yeah, it's almost like what they do with politicians in a way. Yeah. Like, let's make Donald Trump look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to, he like Noam Chomsky said, Donald Trump gives the elite everything they want, man. He gives us someone to blame that isn't them.
Yep.
And we all fight amongst ourselves and they run away with all the money. So that's creepy.
And it's perfect for the Democrats. They can prop up some absolute fucking loser like Biden, racist fucking piece of shit Biden.
Yep.
Genocide Joe.
Genocide fucking Joe.
And like, well, you do the genocide or you get the Trump. So that's how our two-party system is going currently. Good job, everybody.
Did you see Kamala Harris when she was like, yeah, we are really hoping to stop the ceasefire, and everyone's cheering. He goes, for 6 weeks. It's like, yeah, then we're going to start it up again. It's like, what?
God damn it. Dude, all right, yeah, so I guess I meant to kind of launch off with this as kind of like a follow-up from last episode, but, might as well just jump into it now. So we talked about how Biden did a very unprofessional, very tone-deaf, honestly pretty disgusting announcement that there was going to be a ceasefire by Monday, which was, and I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but a ceasefire did not happen on Monday.
What?
And in fact, actually, I when I was coming up with a name for the episode, I Googled, because I was like, is ceasefire one word or is it hyphenated? Googled it. And as I Googled it, it was like literally it was like, after our episode, I Googled it like ceasefire, and the news articles were like, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Hamas is not going to agree to any ceasefire. Israel is not going to agree to any ceasefire, so it's not going to happen. And I was like, great. Glad that I announced ceasefire was coming on Monday, and then literally, probably while we were talking, articles were coming out about how it wasn't going to happen. Which, is anybody really surprised?
No, I'm not at all.
No, I loves genocide.
And also, but I loved your title, Ice Cream for Ceasefire. That was very good. I really did like that.
I was going back and forth on is that too?
No, I think it's good.
Is that inappropriate?
I love it.
And the answer is yes, it's inappropriate, but
But it's like, I don't know, just had a good zing, because you got to kind of think, because we talk about the ice cream thing. Something about the ice cream cone was represented so much to me. Yeah, that was a part. If you didn't have the ice cream cone, it still would have been bad.
Yeah.
But something about just because he kept going for a lick.
Yeah.
And it's like you could tell he cared more about that ice cream cone than even the answer, because everything is so automatic. Yeah. He's so on fucking autopilot. He's so not in charge, probably. No. He's got handlers, so he's just a baby Joe with his ice cream cone.
Did you watch the State of the Union?
No, I did not.
I watched.
Should I have?
No. I watched like highlights.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. I mean, he talks a big game, he's promising, like one of his big talking points was, he talked about these big landlord companies that are buying up all this real estate and how he was going to, deal with that because, to lower the price of rent. And I'm like, okay, great. I mean, Overton window wise, that's great that's actually in the discourse. Is he going to do anything about that? Fuck no. There's no fucking way.
Just like us not, having, what happened to our fucking debt relief for schools? You know what I mean? Right. Like, yeah, like that was, on the table. It looked like it was going to even happen. I think we even got a letter saying, well, you guys have been qualified. We're like, oh, cool. There goes that. And nothing, still paying on that shit. Never going to not pay on that shit.
Yep.
Dude, it's fucking, They just lie, man, to get elected, and we know that. But it's like, but it's the rest of the people that are just so. I mean, it's there's so many I think most of them have got to be robots. But like whenever you see someone say ceasefire, it's like not until the hostages are free. It's like that Netanyahu, whatever the fuck his guy is, he didn't even want. He's not gonna. He didn't even want to release the hostages. Like he didn't even fucking.
This is perfect for him.
Yeah,
this is perfect for him.
Yeah.
This is the exact scenario that he was looking for because he wants to wipe Gaza off the face of the earth.
Do you think
there have been IDE, like high-ranking officials who have stated exactly that. This is not when people are like, oh no, that's not their actual intention. It's like, no, go listen to what they're saying. It's just like I had this conversation with a coworker of mine yesterday. We were talking about Kanye. He was like, oh yeah, Kanye had a awesome commercial. And I was like, man, they still let Kanye on the fucking TV? And he was like, oh yeah, Kanye is awesome. And I'm like, yeah, except that he's a Nazi. And he's like, no, he was just trolling. And I'm like, no, dude, go listen to the fucking interview. Kanye was literally like, stop telling me that I'm trolling. Stop saying that I'm messing with people. I am not. I am telling you, I love Adolf Hitler. I think we should stop trash talking the Nazis.
Wow. I didn't know he went that far.
Oh, yeah. He was literally like, stop trying to downplay what I'm saying. Let me have some agency. I'm a fucking Nazi. And I'm like, I believe you, man. I believe you.
That's crazy.
Dude, yeah. He went.
And now he can't. Now he's campaigning to even get I think he's got one stadium that will let him perform. Everyone else is like, no.
Good. Dude, platform that dude.
And that's fine. I've never really cared for him. He's never been one I cared for. Like if this happened to Killer Mike, I'd be really bummed out. But Killer Mike's cool as fuck.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, I like Killer Mike. He's great. If you want to talk rappers, I respect. But man, so do you think we funded Israel to fund Hamas so that Hamas created this? Like, are we all in cahoots and it's just the Palestinians getting butt fucked? Is that what's happening in your opinion? Like, do you think there really are? Or maybe some. It's just like when the Black Lives Matter thing happened here, and yes, there were real people that were trying to fight, but then it got taken over so quickly by some weird other organization. Remember that when that other weird organization came in? Mm-hmm. Were you telling me all that? Were you there? Were you and I talking about that?
We had a guest on, didn't we?
Yeah, it was Bubbles.
Was it Bubbles?
Yeah. I wonder what happened to Bubbles.
Yeah. Check in with them.
Yeah.
But
anyways.
yeah, I don't know, dude. I saw this TikTok, and this is, oh man, I love that sentence.
Yeah.
I saw.
Remind me, we got to talk about TikTok after this, but go ahead.
So I saw this video where this woman was explaining how Aaron, I forget. Bushnell. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
So he was an active member of the military, right? And his friend, one of his friends, is on record, and I haven't looked into this, so I don't want to be part of the misinformation system where I see a TikTok and then spread misinformation. But I don't want to do that, but I am going to do that. So where his friend, Aaron's friend, was saying that Aaron had told him and was freaking out that he had this, he had Army intel, and apparently he had never done this before. He had never seemed nervous. He had never broken confidentiality or talked about anything that he wasn't supposed to talk about. But he approached him and told him that there were U.S. troops in the tunnels in Gaza that were actively murdering Palestinians. And what this means is that this isn't just some, if true, what that means is we're not just giving guns and money to the people who are genociding, which is just genocide with extra steps.
Yeah.
But that literally U.S. troops are genociding, AKA we are directly genociding Palestinians, which, again, I mean, it shouldn't be as big of a statement as it is, knowing that we consider we talk about Israel being the 51st state. We know that it's like a military outpost of ours, that we fund it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like it's no secret. So this genocide is the blood is on our hands. But if it's directly, like literally a U.S. troop shooting Palestinians, then that is directly on us and is a huge, huge war crime.
Yeah, and I've heard that the Israeli military has been training with our police departments. I heard that somewhere. Now let's go here. Let's talk about TikTok for a minute, because that happens a lot. When you mention a TikTok, and I used to be that way too. People are like, "Oh, okay," but let's talk about just how fucking sad it is. That is where we have to get source of news. Because when it came to that train derailment, didn't hear about that anywhere but on TikTok. Got all my information on TikTok, and that's when I started going, "Wait a minute here." So to me, it's the same thing as when, I think I've said this before, but I'll just repeat it. It's the same thing as when you watch those crime shows and you notice the police give up after a couple days because they're like, sorry, don't know who did it. And they don't give a fuck.
We didn't have somebody who raised their hand and said it was me. So investigation over, I guess.
Yeah. And we don't also want to point out that it was probably one of us. So yeah. Anyways.
Well, we shot a black guy about it, so I think we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone, the white people will be fine with that. And so usually it's someone from the family that is like, no, fuck this. Someone like, you know, that cares a lot, that continues, you know, they usually hire a private investigator. And if you get the right private investigator, it may get solved. That's generally how it happens. And that's what TikTok is to me. TikTok is to me people, because when I see TikToks, it's people in Palestine that are on the ground floor saying, here's what's happening. Look at me. You can't really fucking fight with it. I mean, that's a person on the ground, journalist on the fucking ground, not with a green screen behind him, not faking it. It's a regular human being they're not fucking trying to propagandize anything. They're fucking telling you what they feel. So I think it's sadly a valid source of news in some instances. You got to pick and choose. But having said that, you do know they're right now trying to pass a law to basically ban TikTok in America, right? That's happening currently. Of course
they are. Of course they are. They're mad that another government has access to all the information that our government should have, and that China is, you know, selling off all of our information and making all that money, you know, because of the free market. They're really mad at the free market.
Is it that, or is it that that's where everyone is telling the truth and they were like, fuck.
I mean, that too. Like they can't control this arm of propaganda.
Yes.
You know, it's not their algorithm where they can filter out and, you know, make sure to, you know, shave off the truth and leave just a husk of, you know, misinformation and misdirection. And they can't change the narrative of a genocide is happening right now. This is not okay. To holy shit, there's illegal quote unquote migrants coming over the border in droves on our south border.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another thing.
Yeah.
In the State of the Union, Biden straight up held up a pin that was given to him by Marjorie Taylor Greene, and said this person was savagely murdered by an illegal. Like, using straight MAGA fucking language.
Oh, that's great. Now they're all doing the same shit?
Oh, I mean, straight up. They're literally the new the new border bill that Biden got passed. And he's so proud it was bipartisan, the biggest border deal or whatever. Like, he's so proud of it. This is classic fucking centrist, you know, Democratic bullshit that they're always in a race to out police and out defense budget the Republicans. They're in like an arms race. Wow. And oftentimes because of this, because Republicans, conservatives are able to be like, yeah, liberals are soft on crime. Because of this, Democrats often come out being more ruthless and more brutal than even the Republicans, because they don't want to come off and be seen as, you know, soft on crime.
Yeah.
This has happened throughout time, like throughout our country's history. The Democrats come out fucking swinging and overcompensating and trying to do this like we're appealing to the moderates or the moderate Republicans, as if that's a fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's insane. And then, remember when they said inflation had to do with like, the fucking, what was it? The product shortage, it's like and now that's still going on. So it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like I saw a show the other day, or TikTok. Sorry. Once again, TikTok, we should just be sponsored by TikTok. But this lady was just talking about, baby formula. She went in and every baby formula was $100 over the price that it had been the week before. And even the people within the store were like, this has to be a mistake. And it turned out it wasn't. They just changed those prices for everybody. Like, I'm so glad I'm out of that phase, because that was a nightmare searching for baby formula. There were nights I spent hours out looking for baby, because that's all you can feed your kid. You're like, dude, is my kid going to fucking starve? And everyone's getting it. Everyone's freaking out. It's like, because, and you're going to store after store, gone. And you have to get a specific type for your child, man. And it's fucking gone. And you're like, dude, what am I going to do? So I'd gather all my family and be like, hey guys, and they'd all go to stores. And luckily we got through that nightmare. But dude, people are still going through it. Now they're jacking that shit up $100 over the sale price because they know people have to fucking buy it.
At least we don't live in a communism,
Yeah.
At least there's no shortage on bread.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Thank God we don't live in the USSR.
No, you wouldn't want that.
No.
Hey, and did you see where Ireland is basically trying to, appeal to? They're saying war crimes to Israel. What do they call that? Well, I know Spain is like doing sanctions on Israel. All these other countries are coming out against Israel right now, except for us, because we are Israel.
Because we are Israel. Yes.
Oh, gross.
We allowed them to we allowed the ethno state to be set up. Not only the invasion of the land and the pushing out, the displacement of the natives to that land. We had our hand all up in that shit. And this is something that, I didn't know, because, it's, they have it crafted so perfectly over there where they're like, you want to look into the struggles in the Middle East? It's complicated. And that makes it, and you're like, it makes it so you can just write off the whole thing because you're like, well, it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's been going on since the beginning of time, blah, blah, blah. You're like, it's not our struggle. We shouldn't worry about it. But when you look into it, it's not, it is complex. It goes back a long time, but the bare bones facts are pretty cut and dry. It was an invasion that they decided, oh, this is our land now. And they went in, and this wasn't even that long ago. It was like 1948. Did you know that? 1948.
No, I didn't. Isn't it all about
ancient war? This 1948 is when the Nakba happened.
Isn't it all about oil or gas? Isn't there oil or gas there? Is that what the deal is with Gaza? Is it?
I don't.
I thought. That's what I thought. But I don't either.
I don't even know if that is. They decided it was their holy land, because of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Decided it was their holy land, and our religion matters more than their religion because it's their holy land as well.
Yeah, I don't think
about holy lands. I don't give a fuck.
If it's something to do with, if our country's backing it, it's probably got to do with oil or heroin. There's something we're getting out of that shit.
Well, it's a military outpost right in the middle of the Middle East. It's our main presence there, and of course that does have to do with oil because there's the Saudis and the whole region around there is where we get a lot of our oil. Like I don't know if it's coming directly from that area specifically. I don't know for sure, like if they're drilling over there, but it's basically like our presence in the area. So if we didn't have that, we could have some literally like military outposts and stuff, but we wouldn't have the influence in the area that we do. It's militarily and economically, it's like a keystone area. It's very important for our economy.
I think the CIA probably has to do a lot with a lot of what's going on too.
Oh yeah, they have their hand in fucking everything.
I don't think our country's been ours since Kennedy got shot, really, honestly. I think that was the great takeover that happened, because ever since then, there's never really been. And why have we not had a woman president yet? What the fuck is going on with that shit? I mean, dude, at least
have you met a woman? They have periods. It's gross.
Oh, boy.
No, I love bringing up the fact. I love this is such a good, like, it's such a, like, shit lib meme, but like 100% of wars were started by men. I just love that.
It's true.
It's like, maybe we should let somebody who's not Hillary have a chance.
Yeah, it can't be Hillary.
Not,
I mean, because
not Kamala. God.
No, well, that's the thing you learn. How many women do also prop up the male toxicity or whatever? Because even like, I don't know if you've dated a girl that, it gets weird if you cried or something or showed emotions. And you see that, that's a strange one. It's like, but it all comes from like social programming, which, whether it's, purposeful or just happenstance. But I mean, it just goes like, women are taught that strong men and blah, blah, blah. And men are taught that too. And just recently, my God, the 80s and 60s into the 80s is really when the whole beginning of people actually looking at their own selves and being like, wow, should I work on this? In the 1800s, people weren't fucking working on themselves or worried about what they did. If it affected you emotionally, you were just a fucking bitch if you fucking didn't go dig up the crops and fucking, go to war or whatever the fuck you did, marry someone. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's been late to the game that we actually have any kind of self-introspection on that level. So, I don't know where I jumped to this from. Honestly, we're thinking about, I think Hillary triggered it. So I'm trying to think of who would be a good woman president. Probably AOC would be good. Yeah, somebody like that. I just would love to see it. Who do you think?
Yeah, I think.
Or who's that lady that we were going to?
She's been kind of soft on stuff lately. I honestly have been kind of disappointed in her and Bernie throughout all this. Like,
yes,
it took them way too long, and I know that. I think the main complaint about Bernie is that he's a Zionist.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
He is. I mean, he's been writing stuff about it now, but he's not really going after Israel. He's just saying, stop the ceasefire, or, we need a ceasefire. But it's like, did you see all those people that got arrested in his office for, I mean, that's not cool, man. That's a bummer. Like,
yeah. And like, he comes out and says, nobody should be tossed out of it for defending. I mean, it seems like it's really hostile to defend Palestine in DC, and it seems really taboo. Is how it seems, but I don't give a fuck about your politics, man.
Nope.
If you aren't loudly and proudly saying genocide is wrong and this is 100% a genocide, that Israel does not have the right to defend itself legally because they're an invading force under, I think, the Geneva Convention. If you are occupying somebody's country, let's say China came in, started occupying the US, and then we started attacking them, trying to get our rights back, they don't have a right to defend themselves against what we're doing as if they're the victim.
Yeah.
The shit that happened on October 7th, because this will always get brought up in this discourse, terrible, awful, innocent people dying, never okay. And I'm not saying the average Israeli is, committing genocide, but they are benefiting from an occupation that has led to an apartheid state, has led to an open air prison, and the genocide of the Palestinian people.
Oh, they're starving them out too. They're just starving them out. And
which is another violation of the Geneva. There's so many war crimes here and crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
It's unthinkable. It's unforgivable. And anybody.
I've seen lots of protests. I've seen lots of protests from Jewish people, though, denouncing Israel and being. I know, so it is nice that happens. And we need the Israeli people. Mm-hmm. But then I saw another video of
there are even family members of hostages that haven't been freed yet who are like, stop it. And
Yeah.
even if it's just for the selfish reason of obviously the IDE is killing hostages by just bombing indiscriminately, or literally shooting hostages waving white flags.
Yeah, which has happened. Yeah. And also what's happened, it's like, say we're going after a school shooter, which is Hamas, and we blow up the whole fucking school full of kids. That's what we're basically doing.
Yep.
There was a lady, a Palestinian woman that got to Congress and was talking very passionately about this. And I'd send you all these. We were just watching all this fucking shit, man, and just got, goddamn, and then, but like if you're not paying attention, or, you don't have that algorithm on your TikTok or whatever, then what it looks like to you are there's these two sides that, are, just this war happened. It's like, no, man, it's like Texas going after Rhode Island and completely demolishing Rhode Island and then being like, we're afraid of Rhode Island. It's like, fuck you, man. Such bullshit, dude. It's all bully bullshit.
Yep.
But not enough people are
realizing is that they are like, before all this, I doubt many people sympathized with Hamas.
Yeah.
As an entity. I doubt it. And a lot of that has to do with, xenophobia and jingoism, and, and I'm talking about myself too, we're all the brainwashing, the anti, all Middle Eastern brown people are terrorists, propaganda that we've lived with our entire lives.
Right.
I'm being a little, I know I didn't go that far, but you know what I mean? Like
that's kind of the narrative. Yeah. That's sort of the American narrative that we're,
but I think now, because of all this, I think people are starting to sympathize with Hamas. We as far as I know, the death toll numbers are most reliable coming, and they have been like for years, because this isn't just an isolated incident. There's been the displacement and genocide, like I said, since like the 50s. And consistently the death toll numbers are more accurate coming from Hamas. And like, it's kind of like a well-known thing, as that you don't really believe what the IDE is saying, because they have a huge propaganda wing that is, has leaked all over the world. It's called, I think it's called, let me Google this before I say it wrong, but it's Hasbara.
I've heard of that, actually.
Yeah. So it's
that's their Fox News, basically.
No, it's deeper than that. It's literally like a system. It's like a government agency mixed with all of their media, mixed with the what do they call it?
So it's more like the CIA.
Well, even deeper. It's like as if the CIA was in our everyday lives and was like using us as a wing of it. Like it's basically anything that's propaganda, but it has a really, like, those trips that they invite Jewish people all over the country. They will bring you to Israel to check it out. And what is that called? The
I don't remember.
I'm talking about.
I don't know offhand.
They get people to donate and to get like all expense paid trips for Jewish kids to come out and see Israel. And then like,
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I can't either. It's like, I want to say like a rite of passage. It's something like that. But like you return to your homeland.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was listening to a podcast about a guy who, like a Jewish guy who went on that, and he was talking about just how creepy it was, like how they were just like lying about how many innovations, like they were like claiming that they invented cherry tomatoes and like, just weird shit like that. And
when you control the media, you can say anything. It becomes like what's the guy in fucking South Korea? That fucking, they think he's gonna live forever. Is it North Korea? Sorry, which one's who's the dictator? North Korea, yeah. What's his fucking name?
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un, that's right. He's yeah, like, you know, they that place is just all like apparently that is the ultimate fucking form of what this could become, even in America, if we, you know, if the wrong forces get more and more power, which really isn't.
We're not that far off, man. We're
not that far off.
Borders, like,
yeah,
we're spreading crazy propaganda. We have a quote unquote democracy.
Yeah,
and you know, and like the amount of nationalism in this country, it's fucking alarming, and it's becoming, like we were talking about, you know, how you can't talk about Palestine. We saw how they censured Ilhan, was it Ilhan Omar or no, it was Rashida in Congress, when she was, like, you know, very passionately talking about how it was not okay to allow the genocide happening, and they censured her, and then let, you know, all these, but they let, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, yell during the fucking you know, State of the Union address. They allow all this shitty behavior, but then censure the like one of two Muslim, or like, because she's from, I think Rashida's from Gaza. I'm pretty sure. I think she's the only Palestinian, because Ilhan, I think, is from is she from Saudi Arabia, or, oh man, sorry, there's so many characters.
I know, it's hard to keep track of it all. My brain is not a steel plate, or a steel trap.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, I know some people can just rattle these things off, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Sorry to our listeners if you're listening to two bumbling dudes.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. That's what this is, okay? We like to have fun and drink and party and play music. We don't really even like having to talk about this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of enjoyable, I guess. It's interesting that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. We need our third guy to pull up stuff for us.
Yeah,
we'll get that one day. Anybody want to be our third guy to pull up stuff for us? Could be a girl. Doesn't have to be a guy. Actually, we'd rather it be a girl. We need a girl in this group.
Absolutely.
Pull up our shit.
Yeah. Because, you know, we need to. I'm sick of mansplaining. We need to have, like, a woman splain to us.
Yeah. It'll keep us straight.
Yeah, anyway, just my cursory Googling is not helping. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, they censured.
I didn't know about that. Yeah, I didn't know that So what does that mean, to censure someone? What does it mean?
Basically, like, they pulled her off the floor and said she couldn't talk anymore, and like literally just silenced her. And I don't know what other consequence. I think she got removed from like a committee. I don't know the exact details, but there was formal and almost immediate and almost unanimous consequences for her standing up for her people.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's not good.
No,
that's not good. The powers are very.
It's very authoritative.
They are, and it's like, and what do we do? What do we do as the normal human being? Like, what do we do to fight this? I mean, soon it will be illegal to talk. Soon there'll be things that'll be illegal to post on Facebook about things that are political. I mean, that's probably coming very soon. You'll get fined, or you'll get fucking, your bank account will be fucking shut, clipped. Yeah. It's just weird shit they're going to start pulling for people that stand. If we don't all stand up soon. Did I tell you last week about the boycott guy? Did we talk about the boycott guy?
I don't think so.
So I'm going to tell you about it. Anyways, it's a story I heard where it's like, this landowner or someone, it was during the time of I think some maybe Ireland or something, and basically the reason the name boycott is what it is because they all the people were getting fucked over, all the farmers were getting fucked over, and it was another like French Revolution type thing, but I think it was Ireland. But they were basically like raising the prices of land and fucking everybody over, the rich people, as they always do, and the farmers fighting back because they were like, fuck this, we got nothing better to do. We don't have Netflix to fucking, this is our livelihood, this is all we can think about. So they went after the fuckers. And the one guy that was supposed to represent them only was going to give them like a little way too small of a percentage back of land or whatever. And they all, instead of doing anything violent or hurting him, they just ignored him. They ignored him, and everyone just ignored him. And then everyone around the other places, other cities and countries started ignoring him. And he just got ignored everywhere, like just blacklisted from his whole life. He just ruined his life because he had no power anymore. Because everyone just, it was like what they do at the end of Merlin with the Wicked Witch. They just ignore her and she goes away. And I always wanted to do that with Trump, but it's impossible. But but they did that. And that's the problem with nowadays is we could never get everyone to agree on one thing to really get that going. Like we all are being fucked over, but because of the propaganda, that's why I think that propaganda is the first thing we need to address to fix this. We need to all realize we're all being lied to from our prospective places we go to, and we're all getting, other than I hate to say it, but I think we're pretty good because we're not really picking a side. We're like seeing it all as bullshit, and we're picking the side of the people that are being lied to. So, always look at the underdog because that's the good guy, probably. I mean.
Well, you'd hope, you'd think,
You'd hope.
It's hard to say too because Hezbollah, I'm doing my best here. They, constantly try to paint Israel as the underdog, as the little brother that we have to protect. Like that's a huge part of it. Like,
right, that's true. So I guess realize who the people that
look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers.
But like, there's probably
1,000 women and children bombed out of existence. I have a coworker who, her sister-in-law and her 2 young children went missing for a week, and then eventually they found them under the rubble.
God damn, man!
Like this shit isn't just like something that's far away, that we can just ignore. Literally, we have people in our communities who all know people who have been massacred.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Like this isn't some, this isn't like early days of COVID where you're like, is this real? Because I don't know anybody who has COVID. This is like now days of COVID where it's like we've all had it like 4 times,
Yeah, exactly.
Like very real.
Yeah, man. Let's try and wrap this up with something hopeful, though. Like what? Yeah. I mean, what can we fucking do? If there is, but I don't know what we can fucking do.
I don't know. I guess just never shut the fuck up. That's the main thing that they want out of us is to shut the fuck up and to, load Netflix back up and just stick our heads in the ground and not talk about it, and to not while we're playing our shows, before we start playing our masturbatory, narcissistic bullshit, self-aggrandizing songs, to, take a moment to be like, yo, check your privilege, everybody. We are so lucky to be here and to not have our families missing and, found crushed.
Yeah.
We are so lucky because maybe some of you, maybe even who are here, aren't that lucky. And that we need to not just count our blessings, but to be like, this is not okay. And we have the reason why we are living so comfortably is because we are pushing our thumbs down on other less fortunate people. And it's just a constant, barrage to keep other people down so that we can keep ourselves propped up. Just take a moment to use your voice to just, keep the things, to keep it alive. I recently, I took, I can't remember. I think I ate like a bunch of mushrooms.
Yeah.
And then the people I was hanging out with went to sleep. And so I kind of was just sitting there, and I was feeling kind of down. I was feeling kind of depressed because I'm like, I'm feeling hopeless and like, what can I do? And what is there to do? And like, I have always had this feeling that I should, be pulling more weight and I should be like, you know, I don't know, doing something more substantial in my life than I'm currently doing. And I was feeling kind of down about it. But then I had this like weird, I had this weird thought that, you know, we're all just electrons, you know, bouncing off of each other. And that I think that individually an electron doesn't do much. You know, it's not going to change the world, but what does change the world is electrons getting fired up and getting energized and bouncing off of each other. And, you know, when I'm taking my energy and I'm bouncing into you and then you take that energy and you bounce into somebody else and we're ricocheting, it has a cumulative effect. And this is how water, you know, boils and turns into steam. It's these electrons that are, that are literally vibrating off of each other and sending that energy out into the world and, you know, and then changing the state that they're in. Like literally, like, you know, this is kind of a cheesy metaphor and I'm
it's good.
I sound like a fucking hippie right now, but
that's all right. You know, the
energy alive, that's all I want to do, you know?
I mean, honestly, that whole listening to Ram Dass or Alan Watts always does bring me back to, you know, because, you know, like really, you know, we're these little snowballs, right? Like we're just these pure little balls of light. And when you're born, you know, your child it doesn't have any bias. It doesn't have any hatred. It just comes out like, wow, this it's tripping its balls off.
Mm-hmm.
And but then as time goes on, you start to roll down the hill of life. You start to collect a lint character traits and traumas and joys and experiences. But they color that clear ball to where you start thinking you're all that lint and dirt that collected on the ball.
Yeah.
You start to identify with that. Well, that's what I am. I'm you know, so-and-so that has this name and social security number and, you know, all that.
I'm a pile of shit.
Yeah, you're basically a pile of shit, but you need that. That's your identity. And so often, I mean, every day, I mean, JFK, right? You know, one day he's president, next minute his fucking brains are in his wife's lap, you know? So, I mean, that happens quick. He lost his status very quickly. He lost his identity very quickly. What happened after that? We do not know. Maybe he became a ball of light again, but it's important what you're saying. I think it's very important, you know? And that is a good way to kind of wrap this up because I always got to go into the mystical or the alien stuff because that does refill my heart with a little joy and a little bit of promise of like, remember this, man, the Carl Sagan shit, right? I mean, we are just this little dot in an infinite ocean. And like what happens here doesn't have to be, it feels like the end of the world, man. It feels like it, but it really isn't. There's no way to end this. Like we're going to experience forever something.
Yeah. And I just wish people would realize that. And in realizing that like this doesn't matter, like in the grand scheme of things, there's no great destiny or plan, you know, and in that feel free to just be like, well, if there's no, like, I can just let go. I can let go and just be like, and stop trying to control everything and be like, if we're going to just be here for a moment of time and there's no intrinsic value to anything, we should create our own values and realize that maybe violence, murder, and, you know, lying and just, you know, trying to fuck each other over, that is not a good use of our time, that we should just enjoy each other and, you know, try to learn as much as we can about the world. You know, it's probably my ADHD, but like I love getting into, I get so obsessed about these like little things and I like to learn a bunch about it. And, you know, and I start to get, you know, halfway decent at something. And then I'm like, I feel like I got that. Then I move on to something else. And, you know, it's like, I beat myself up. Like, why can't I finish anything? But I just
that's good.
You're like learning, you know?
No, that's great. And honestly, that keeps away dementia and creating synapses creates it really does. It's the way your brain, because some people have a bigger neural reservoir than others. So you could have Alzheimer's right now, but if your neural reservoir is full enough of the stuff, that neurons, that because from learning, you could die never even knowing you had Alzheimer's because you have so much new synapses. But the problem is when people stop learning and the cancer of the fucking Alzheimer takes over all the little synapses, gums them all up. Because I guess Alzheimer's is like a gummy substance that blocks the transmission between synapses, the little electron that happens. And so you can lose a synapse and that's too bad. But if you're gaining and making new ones, you'll never really notice that you're losing your fucking mind. So that what you're doing is extremely important to continue learning and trying new things. Because you have neuroplasticity and physical plasticity that never goes away, no matter how old you get. And people just think because they're older, they got to stop doing stuff or stop learning stuff or stop trying new things. And that's where you get the fucking Lenny Kravitzes, who looks like he's fucking. I mean, have you seen Lenny Kravitz? That dude is the most attractive, flawless. He's like 60. Get a picture of Lenny Kravitz and like. That fucker did it right. Like he's playing music, living on a tropical island. Like today, I mean, looks as good as probably better than he did when he was getting popular. And it's like, I don't know. You can age. Yeah, you can age however you want, man. You can do it. And I think you're aging very well. I do got to go though.
Yeah, I do too.
But we ended this.
I think that's a good positive note to end on, though. You know.
Yeah.
I think to summarize the hippie rantings is just like keep the energy alive, everybody. Like we gotta like, you know, not toxic positivity. You know, we don't ignore the horrors. You know, we're allowed to feel down and sad and hopeless and stuff, but just don't stop yelling. You know, keep screaming into the void, and eventually the void will hopefully scream back. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, realize you do have power, and everything outside of you is constantly trying to take your power or convince you don't have power, but you do have all the power. And yeah, toxic positivity is a pain in the ass. And we don't have to listen to Fish now because we talk like this. We don't have to listen to Fish. But I love you, James.
All right. Love you too, Casey.
All right. Bye, buddy.
All right. We'll see ya.